What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel. Number for the news. There was a case in Chicago where 4 young men, including a teenager, shot and killed a Chicago police officer, a young lady who's on her way home from work. Now, she was able to exchange gunfire with these young men, but they ran down on her and gunned her down and killed her. Now, she was an extremely young officer and hadn't been on the force that long. But these four young men have thrown their life away forever. It's over for them. And for what? A small robbery. These type of crimes are going to continue to happen. Like I've said before in other videos, we have a demonic spirit over our country. And a lot of these young men are basically have become soulless demons. Now, in life, you always want a chance to redeem yourself. But sometimes you commit crimes to where you never get a second chance. And this is one of those crimes where these young men, I would imagine they might not never get out of jail, but if they do, they'll be 60 years old. And who knows if this society will still be standing up by that point. But it's a damn shame that so many young men are willing to throw their life away for the most minute and small pieces of material items, whether it be money, watches, a wallet. I mean, it's not like you was robbing a bank and you was going for the gusto. Whatever you was able to get off that lady, it wasn't going to be life-changing. What were you going to do? Buy a little bit of weed, some alcohol. You wasn't going to be able to do much with the money you got. But let's take a look at this clip.
4 people are now charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of Chicago police officer Areanah Preston. Police say the group had been on a crime spree before killing the officer. Fox 32's Joni Lum joins us live from police headquarters with the latest. Joni?
And let me say this. When people go on a crime spree, you know what I mean, where you committing several crimes in the same night, that's almost what you would call a crash-out mission. Most criminals, when they trying to commit a crime, the object is to get away with the crime and not go to jail. When you go on a crime spree or just robbing you basically, either you want to die or you ready to go to jail. It's either or when you're going on a crime spree.
Hello, Sylvia. Investigators had to work through their sorrow, and they say that community involvement helped them to make arrests and stop a crime spree that victimized women alone before it ended with the fatal shooting of Officer Preston. The offenders are teens: 19-year-old Travell Breland, 19-year-old Joseph Brooks, 18-year-old Jaquan Buchanan.
And you got to realize a lot of these young men, they're doing an inordinate amount of drugs now. It ain't like when I was coming up, you might smoke a little bit of weed and drink a little drink and, you might indulge in something here or there. But you got to realize these people are popping perk 30s, perk 60s. They drinking syrup. They smoking weed. They doing coke. They drinking liquor. I mean, the amount of drugs that some of these young people are ingesting, Euros, Molly, ecstasy, and you might be thinking one at a time. Oh, no. A lot of these young men are mixing a lot of drugs at once. They having a cocktail party of drugs. So these people are completely not even in their right mind. So when they commit these crimes, by the time they detox, it takes them 2 or 3 weeks to realize the severity of what's coming their way. But these are the 3 young men. The other one was underage, so they can't show his picture. I think they say he was 16, so they're not going to show his picture. But these other 3 are over 18. And your life is over. And you can see the young man got blessed on his neck. And he got a tattoo across his face with the crown on top of his head. This is Chicago street gang shit. But when you that young, who gets a tattoo that big on the side of their face? But this is the society that has started to birth these type of young men. Soulless demons, basically, who will kill at the drop of a hat.
And a 16-year-old male Police say at least 2 of them shot at Officer Areanah Preston when she was returning home from work at 1:42 a.m. Saturday.
You don't get no props for that. You killed the black woman on duty. You don't get a props for anything, killing a person coming home from work. That's just despicable. But they killed, you know, I want to say this. Killing anybody for a reason like this is ridiculous and it should never happen. But killing one of your own, another black woman, just for over some robbing over crumbs, peanuts, that's disgusting.
Police say the 4 offenders were traveling in a stolen red Kia and they were looking for people to victimize. They allegedly committed multiple crimes before ambushing Officer Preston.
As Officer Preston was returning home from her tour of duty early Saturday morning, 4 offenders pulled up in a stolen vehicle. The offenders quickly exited the vehicle and ran towards Officer Preston while armed. An offender fired at Officer Preston, who returned fire. The offenders continued to shoot Officer Preston, and the offender stole Officer Preston's weapon before all offenders fled the scene in a stolen vehicle.
Her last arrest that evening, even the arrestee, once finding out the news of what had happened, she wept. And that speaks to the credit of Officer Preston.
Commander Pendarvis says that the charges put police on a path to heal from the loss of this star officer if they can ever get over their grief. The officer's weapon was stolen. It has not been recovered. That stolen car was set on fire, and those 4 offenders are going to be in bond court at this hour. Reporting live at police headquarters, I'm Joni Lum. Back to you.
Well, they're going to prosecute these young men to the maximum extent that they can prosecute them, to the maximum extent of the law. Life in jail. They'll never see the light of day. And they deserve it. Period, point blank. You gunned the office young lady down, then you ran her down, you ran down on her and shot her some more, then took her gun. You did all that to take a gun. I mean, they could have did that to George Zimmerman. But that's a story for another day, man. That's just sad. It's ridiculous. RIP to this young lady. My condolences to her family. That's terrible, but they'll pay the price. Yeah, they'll get the full weight of the justice system on their back. But I just want to go over that clip, y'all. Tragedy, pure tragedy. But this has been Sports Life and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I just took your ass on these 3 young men won't see the light of day ride. Peace.